this week we're doing clods. We're also doing a rib roast, and then we're also doing some tri-tip, which is very popular in the California area. The clods come from the Chuck region, and those are made up of basically three muscles. You have the clod heart, which is the triceps brachii. You also have the teres major, or the Aggie griller, and then you also have the infraspinatus, common name of flat iron or top blade. And then we also have the rib roast, which commonly is just a prime rib roast. So in the prime rib roast, we actually went ahead and it's just a mixture of salt and pepper, and it's one that's commercially sold. And then our clod hearts were rubbed with a mixture of cayenne pepper, salt, black pepper, and then also Lowry's. And then our tri-tip, the rub is mostly composed of Lowry seasoning, but it also has cayenne pepper and black pepper and salt. We actually started all three cuts this morning at around 10 o'clock, and they will be ready around 4. Some of them, mainly the clods, will have to be pushed a little bit, so we'll have to go above the temperature that would be ideal for a slow cooking process, just because they are such a large cut of meat. The tri-tip is usually about 6 hours. They're smaller than a brisket, but they do still need some time to get up to the endpoint temperature and thoroughly cook. And then the prime rib is actually a rarer cut that you would like. You usually don't want to get it over 140 degrees, but at the same time you do need to get it to that point so it will be juicy and flavorful. We wrapped these just a little bit ago for the main purpose that the steam that it's going to generate from the water that we added to the cuts, that steam will help generate more heat and make sure that the meat becomes very tender. And so a lot of times people will wrap briskets and put some water in there so that that steam will help that brisket hydrolyze all the proteins and everything. And so that's the main purpose of wrapping them and adding the water, is to generate steam within the package. The endpoint temperatures for the prime rib will be about the 140 degrees Fahrenheit. For our tri-tips and our clods, we're going to try and get those up much higher, probably around 180, 185, so that whenever we slice or cut them, they're basically just going to fall apart. The tri-tips in California is the equivalent of the brisket in Texas. And so whenever they cook them, they want them just the same endpoint temperature as the Texas brisket so that they will fall apart as well. And then the clods, the clod heart, the triceps brachii, and the infraspinatus are both very tender inherently whenever they come off the beef carcass, but at the same time you want to get those high enough that all the meat will fall off whenever you're slicing. So the objective of this week's class was just to show students that there are other cuts that you can cook with or barbecue with. There's a lot of barbecue places around Texas that actually prefer the clod in reference to the brisket. And so it's just to show the students that there are other cuts that you can smoke for barbecue in addition to the very well-known brisket here in Texas.